Mazzami kutgandik. Nimaga kutgandik? Chunki bu yigitni salohiyati, intellekti, experience'i, ishtiyoqi o'sha 9 ga nisbatan juda yuqori edi. Xudo xohlasa, mana o'zing o'sha cho'qqiga chiqib olding. Bundan buyoqqa jamoa a'zolarimizda sendan ilm olaman deb keladigan kelajakdagi Everestlarni ham o'sha yuqori natijagacha yetkazishda Alloh taoloning o'zi ko'makdosh bo'lsin.
IELTSdagi cho'qqi yana bir bor Everest tomonidan egallandi. Bundan biz juda ham xursandmiz.
Farrux, tabriklaymiz. Juda xursand bo'ldik kecha. Reaksiyadan ma'lum, ko'rgan biladi, bilgan biladi. Bu yog'iga ham xudo xolasa to'xtamasdan hammaga aytayotgandek o'rnak bo'lib, yordam berib, butun Everestdagi jamiki hamma ustozni 9 qilish nasib qilsin. Xudo xolasa bizga ham sana yo'lini bersin.
Bu 9 shunchaki ball, biz o'zi tanov bo'lganmiz Farruxni. Well deserved da xullas. U o'sha bu olmasa ham hamma borib yuzlanadigan odam Farrux bu yerda.
Mazzami?
Over the moon.
O'tgan safargidek notang topolmay qolding?
Umuman nota emas, pianino topolmay qoldik.
Assalomu alaykum qadrli Everestlar, Everest Official YouTube kanalimiz kuzatuvchilari. Qo'limda mana bu sertifikat turibdi. Sertifikatimizda overall natija 9. O'shaning uchun ham menimcha o'sha ko'pchilik tushunyapti nimaga sizlar bilan bugun yuz ko'rishib turganimizdan. Bugungi mehmonimiz Farrux Rustamov. Farrux, xush kelibsan.
Thank you.
Bu intervyu har doim an'ana ko'rinishda qilinadi bizda, ya'ni Everestda o'sha birorta kandidat, birorta ustozmi yoki Everestr bo'lsa ham 9 qayd etsa va sertifikatini o'sha qo'liga olgandan keyin, xudo xohlasa, o'sha emotsiyalar, 9 bilan bog'liq experience'da siz bilan ulashish uchun intervyu qilamiz. Bu intervyuni ham bugun xudo xohlasa qilmoqchimiz. Bugungi intervyu noan'anaviy tarzda ingliz tilida bo'ladi. Iloji boricha katta auditoriyaga yetib borsin. O'shaning uchun kommentlar yozib, like'lar bilan поддержка qilinglar. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
To be honest, I was extremely happy. I was very glad to find out that you got 9. I kept asking Sherzod, what's the result? And finally, he told me that he called me and told me that you got 9. I jumped out of happiness. I felt as if I myself got this result because I know how hard it was for you. I know how long it took. But anyways, congratulations. How does it feel? What were your emotions?
I guess the strongest feeling I have is relief. Because on the day of on Monday when I needed to get my results, I was really nervous. I couldn't stand, I couldn't sit. Normally I had to go from place to place in order to calm myself down. I had to look at my phone all the time. And when I got the message, the email that said that my results came out, my hands began trembling because it was really, really hard. And I mean, that anxiety, that stress began a day before. But when I followed the link, when I downloaded the result, I was instantly relieved, like a mountain off my shoulders. Such a great feeling, and right now, I mean, somehow weird, doesn't really feel that something changed. I think that's because I knew I could do it, but I didn't have an opportunity to show that I can. And now that I have this result, I'm really pleased. I'm really happy.
Where were you at that time?
I was at my lesson. I was conducting listening sessions, and I had to explain to my students like question by question. And on one hand, I have my students who are waiting for my explanation. On the other hand, I have my phone with the result. When I got the result, I couldn't show that I was happy because I needed to
You
remain
didn't tell your
professional.
students?
No, I didn't tell my students because
Oh, really?
it would disrupt the lesson. I didn't. We had a lot to cover. I didn't want them to miss anything important. And I know that if they had a chance, if they had an excuse, they would not listen to me. They would celebrate.
You have such a modest personality, Farah. I'm impressed. If I were you, I would have screamed. I would have told everybody around that I got 9. Anyways, how did they react when they found out eventually?
Well, that group found out today.
Oh, really?
Yes, they saw the presents, the
Uh-huh.
chocolate bars that my other students brought me. They decided to check my profile. They saw, and they were really happy. They congratulated me. Yes, but they didn't find out until today.
Okay. I know that your mom really cares about your education, about your results. I know that she always, motivates you to study harder. I think she was one of the people who have actually told you to take the test over and over again, right?
Yeah.
Or how was it? What was your mom's reaction, and what was her contribution to this result?
Her contribution, I mean, cannot be underestimated. I don't think I can find words to describe how much she helped me. But actually, I didn't tell her about my exam. I didn't tell anybody. So she found out that I took the exam when she found out I got a 9. I sent her the results via Telegram, but she wasn't online. So she was told by my cousin, and initially she didn't believe him. Like she kept saying that I couldn't have got 9 because I didn't take the test. But then she called me and found out that I really got a 9. She was really happy to the point that she started crying. She was near her mother, my grandmother, who also started crying because it was a really great achievement. She wanted me to get that 9 even more than I wanted to, because she wanted to see me happy. She knew that this is something I really like doing, I really want to have. And as a mother, as a parent, she wanted to make everything possible, everything that she wanted to give me everything I need to achieve my dream. And I'm forever grateful.
I'm really happy to hear that. How about your younger brother?
Well, he didn't really care.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Maybe he knew that it was coming.
Yeah, he knew it was coming. He even, he made me promise that I would buy him a really expensive set of Lego, like a $200 one. And when I came back from work on that day, his first reaction was like, do you remember your promise?
He's a Lego fan.
Yes, just like me, yes.
Oh, really? You're a Lego fan as well, right?
Yes. I brought him into the Lego world, I guess.
Great. I was shocked to see your collection in the class that day.
We have an even greater collection
at home.
Yes.
Really?
I'd
like to see the photo.
Yes, I'll send you.
Great. Now, I don't think we need to discuss the reaction of our colleagues. Everybody at your branch, everybody at Everest were very happy. What is interesting is that I remember you congratulating Sardar that day when he got 9, and it was actually apparent that you were having mixed feelings. On the one hand, you were happy for him.
Yes.
For some reason, you were sad. And what was that reason? Could you share?
I was really sad for myself, because it's not because I thought he was lucky. I cannot say that he was lucky. I admit that he got a 9 because he deserved it. He worked really hard. And I was really angry with myself, because even though I had what it takes to get a 9, I couldn't really show my potential. Especially with speaking, whenever I got into the speaking room, I was really nervous and I messed up every time. And that feeling burned inside of me for several days in a row. And I'm really grateful for Sardar getting that 9, because it was another push for me. It made me register with IDP, book a session, even though I didn't actually plan to take the exam that soon from after my latest attempt.
How did you find so much energy for another test every time? I know that you took the test 14 times in a row, right?
Yes.
And this is a 14th attempt.
Yes.
How did you find strength in yourself?
I mean, it's people who are around me who cheer for me. It's the fact that this is something that would make these people happy. This is something that I know they want me to have, because they know that this is something I really want. And knowing all of this, knowing that people really want me to succeed, be it my family, my friends, my colleagues, my students, and I just, with their support, with their endless support, with their warm words, with their help and assistance in everything that I can ask for, I think I will never run out of strength because
Great.
of the people.
Great. Well, I know that you guys have a very close-knit team at Alisher Navoiy branch of ours. Well, everywhere at Everest we have good teams, but the team there is especially supportive. I think they always try to have you take the test, right? They try to push you. And I think you do the same thing for others as well there.
Yes, I push them to take the test.
I remember Nodar telling me that he got 8.5 just because you helped him with his writing. And the same thing can be said about Shazot. He also basically admitted that your support was especially great in terms of writing. I think it's mutual there, right?
Yes.
You guys push each other, and I'm really glad to know this. I'm really glad that there's a such team there running the branch. Okay, now let's move on to the way you got actual 9. What was stopping you from getting it so far, and how did you actually decipher that formula?
I think speaking was my greatest weakness. I couldn't really get to the point of getting an 8.5. I was stuck at band 8, sometimes even getting a 7.5, which I mean is a great band in itself, but I needed much greater, much higher band score. And that time was different because I talked with Sardor. We had a lot of sessions. He was like the only person from the entire team whom I told that I'm about to take the test. And his insights were really great. Like he helped me understand how to change my attitude, in what way I needed to change my attitude for my speaking results to turn out to be great. Like when I got into that exam room, when I greeted the examiner, I knew like that I felt relieved, not stressed as would be in other test sessions, and I knew at that moment that it was going to be a 9.
So what was the problem with your speaking before?
I think it's that I'm stressing too much. Like, I lack experience. I don't really talk English a lot with my colleagues, don't really practice it. And even though I can talk at great lengths and I can use sophisticated vocabulary and grammar, and at times I can produce really good chunks of language, and even pronunciation might not be that big of a deal, I just cannot gather myself, cannot collect myself, and I may just, crumble under pressure that I feel. But this time I forced myself to forget about the pressure.
Well, to be honest, your speech sounds perfectly fine to me. But there is only one problem, as you mentioned. I think you have a certain form of Russian accent, right?
Yes, a very heavy accent.
And I think this might have been a problem so far.
Yes.
But how was the actual speaking test? Who did you take the test with?
It was an examiner, a female examiner named Ruby. I think she was from India because she had an accent, a slight accent, Indian accent. But she was really great. I think that the way she conducted the test really helped me as well, because she was friendly, she was welcoming, and she actually greeted me twice. Like, good afternoon was said twice because she understood that I was having trouble collecting myself. And her saying this twice helped me realize that she was also caring about my performance. She wanted to make sure that I can show my best. And because of this, I turned in. I was able to speak at my best performance, and she was actually happy to find out that I can speak that good. I mean, she changed in her face, facial expressions changed. I mean, it was subtle, but I knew by the change in her voice, in her tone, and her questions that she was sure that I can get a higher band score.
Great. You took the test only once. You got it from a single attempt, right? So there were no EOR and OSR involved, right?
Yes.
Great. Now, There is a very interesting question. I think everybody's interested in the answer. What did you have to sacrifice to get 9?
Well, I think I had to sacrifice 2 very important things. First of all, I needed to sacrifice my sleep, especially when we used to prepare with Shahzad, Nodar, Sardor, Isfandior. We could spend like hours in one go. We tended to finish at about 2 or 3 a.m. So late at night, and because of this, I couldn't really get enough sleep in many days in a row. But this pushed me to my limits, helped me to improve my skills, to polish them, to refine all the mistakes that I might have had at that time. But even more importantly, I think that this required me to give up my pride. I needed, because seeing all those people getting a 9 and me not getting a 9 really got me thinking that I cannot continue to treat myself as somebody really high above, like in terms of IELTS. Like, I needed to admit that I had problems. I needed to work on those problems, and this required me to trade my pride and to act in a humble way, to accept my shortcomings, to accept the need to work on those shortcomings. And I think this was the greatest change, the one that was the most responsible for me being finally able to get a band.
Could you be more specific about the preparation process? What was your daily plan?
Well, I'm not really good with planning. Like, even before this attempt, I composed a 2-week plan, a very intensive plan, like 2 or 3 hours of preparation, but I actually prepared for like maybe 5 hours total. I only wrote 4 task 1 reports, maybe 5. I didn't write any task 2 because I was getting sick of writing that long essays. And I only did speaking 2 or 3 times with Sardor. He also said that I was not being responsible. I needed to take this into account. But I think that the fact that I succeeded, even though I didn't have that much preparation, should not blind people, because up until then I had to work a lot. Like, even before I got 8 in writing for the first time, I wrote about 50 essays and 50 task 1 reports in 3 weeks. I was really pushing it, and I had to keep working as hard as that time. I had to keep others to work as hard as I did for me to be able to get to that point, because I knew that I had a lot of problems and I needed to work on, and because of that I was able to get there.
When people consider their path towards overall 9, they mostly focus on writing and speaking sessions, and I pretty much understand that they are hardest to get high scores of, but still, in order to get 9, you have to be able to, on a constant basis, score 9 in both listening and reading. So how did you manage that at first place?
Well, I mean, I got double 9s in my first attempt, the very first time, like 4 years ago. I think.
How many times did you get double 9 in
12.
listening and reading?
12.
12 times?
Yes.
Wow.
Out of 14.
That's freaking impressive. For me, reading 9 is a challenge at its own. I have taken tests 8 times. I have never had reading 9. Maybe if I kept taking, maybe I could have, but apparently you have always scored double 9s, right? Almost always.
Yes.
Besides 2 attempts of yours.
Besides 2 attempts. Well, I think it.
So how did you achieve that?
Well, I mean, I have that, quality. I didn't like writing or speaking when I first started preparing. I only did listening and reading. I could spend like several hours in a day just on these 2 sections. And before my first attempt, I never got a 9 in either listening or reading. It was actually at my first exam when I got 9s in either listening or reading for the first time. And like, I kept working on my skills. I kept working, I think, in a smart way, not just doing practice for the sake of it, but also trying to understand every single mistake that I have, like I was struggling with getting a band 8 in listening and reading for a long time. And every single mistake that I made at the time, I spent a lot of mistakes. I spent a lot of time to understand, spent a lot of time to correct those mistakes. And I think because of that attitude, I was able to get this.
Farah, getting a 9 in listening is not all about knowledge. Especially towards the end of the test, you have to make sure that you are 100% concentrated all the time. This is actually what I find challenging when it comes to getting 9 in listening or reading. So how do you, in listening I mean, how do you manage that? How do you manage to stay fully focused all the time?
I mean, I also struggle with this, especially because I finish, preparing for the questions with a lot of time. And I think that the reason I can concentrate is maybe counterintuitive, but I think I have ADHD and I cannot sit still. So
ADHD?
Yes,
What's
it's like
that?
attention. What was it? ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. I mean, when a person cannot concentrate for a long time, they constantly need to do something. They maybe
like
little children.
fiddle the pen,
Yes,
right?
yes,
Things
yes.
like that.
Like
you
fidgets.
have this thing.
Yes, I think I have this thing, and even though I have this thing, that actually helps because when I have a lot of free time in listening, well, when I need to wait, that is specifically when a person may lose concentration because they get bored of the wait. But I just cannot sit straight. I doodle, I write something, I draw some, some pictures, and because of that, I can concentrate. And another thing is that whenever I'm trying to listen, when I'm doing listening, I always try to feel that I'm a part of the conversation.
Great. But anyways, you have to be a cyborg to get 12 times 9s in both reading and listening. And I'm really impressed to hear that, to know that. I didn't know that actually. I didn't know that you had so many double 9s in a row. That's very impressive. When it comes to reading, my problem is always the time. 1 hour has never been enough for me, to be honest. That's why I think I have never gotten 40 correct answers. How did you manage that? What was the biggest problem for you? I know that you do reading in 40 minutes, right? How do you manage that?
Well, I actually do reading in under 30 minutes now.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Under 30 minutes?
Yes,
Oh
last
my
attempt
goodness.
was 24 minutes.
Crazy. That was good, actually.
I think it mainly comes, I think it's because with so much experience, so much practice, first of all, I've really got to understand the intricacies of the questions themselves. Like even without reading the passage, I can understand what the answer would be most likely because of how questions constructed, especially true, false, not given questions.
This means that you have actually got into the process so much that you actually know the mindset. You can predict the mindset of the test makers.
Some like true, false, not given questions are obviously not given questions. When I see those questions, I just answer them without reading the passage because I know they would turn out to be not given, simply because the way how they're constructed. And also, I read really fast. I can finish a passage in about 1 to 2 minutes. Wow. Every single passage, and the rest is done simply because of the speed, of the speed of reading. And also, I'm also really interested in reading this. So many people may struggle with, with the time limit, with getting everything correct because they're not really interested in that topic. For example, I cannot blame them. There are lots of topics that sound ridiculous, but I just had a habit from my childhood. I was an avid reader. I had a lot of encyclopedias, a lot of fiction books. I loved reading, and this habit helped me here as well because whatever the topic is, I may even forget about the questions, even at the exam, and just start reading. Sometimes I got through the passage several times simply because I enjoyed the way it was written, or I enjoyed the plots, enjoyed some jokes made there. I like reading. That's why I can get a lot of
Impressive.
scores.
Well, I've heard from many colleagues of ours that your writing is very strong. Why do you think they have come to think this way? Why is your writing strong? I know that you have gotten 8.5 in writing multiple times in a row, right? How many times?
2 times.
Twice.
Twice, yes. It was the second time.
This is the second time, right?
Yes.
So how did you manage that?
Well, I think
8 was fairly constant, right? 8 in writing.
yes, 4 times or 5 times.
Mm-hmm.
4 or 5 times, yes. In writing, I mean, I've been working on my writing for about 4 years. Ever since I came to Everest, I've never stopped working on my writing. I consulted a lot of people, a lot of professionals. I saw their styles. I follow a lot of channels based on writing, and even when I read essays or reports written just 1 or 2 months ago, I can still find a lot of mistakes. Like, I realize that there's always a room for improvement. Like, of all the like hundreds of essays that I wrote throughout my career as both student and teacher, there have been only, I'd say, less than 10 essays actually that I liked.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm so obsessed with being a perfectionist, I think this pushed me to correct every single mistake that I have, especially in grammar, vocabulary. Like, when my colleagues ask me to help the essays, I may spend a lot of time just because there is some words that I'm not 100% sure is suitable in that specific context. Like, if there is like a 1% chance that this is a mistake, I will sit there until I'm sure that it's not a mistake or is a mistake. And I have the same attitude towards my own writing. I have, I think, even harsher attitude towards myself. That's why I've been able to get there.
Great. Now, everybody considers that overall 9 is a pinnacle of success in the things that you have to look up to as a candidate and as an IELTS instructor as well, right? We have to admit. What do you plan to do next?
Well, I've got 9 as a candidate. Now I need to set a target of helping somebody else to get to 9, be it a student or a colleague. I see a lot of potential among our students, among colleagues, and I know a lot of people, I can name a lot of people from my branch, from other branches, who are very close to getting a 9, and they just need a little push. And I want to provide this push, I want to help them, because they've been of great help for me as well. Like, even though they might not have been able to get that 9 themselves, their contribution is immeasurable, and I want to like express my gratitude in that way.
Great. Now, a month before you got 9, I guess, we established the academics department,
Yes.
right? Well, maybe not everyone knows about this, but we have founded academics department finally here at Everest, and Farrux is the person who is actually running that department. And when you got 9, I got very glad, because this actually served as a reassurance for me that I chose the right person for this mission. And I really wish you to work hard on that now, Farrux.
Yes.
And make sure that we have far more 9ers than we do today. To be honest, I'm aiming at somewhere around 10 until the end of this academic year. But that'd be great if we had more than that, 15, 20 9ers. Now, everybody is aware that we give Monza as a gift to all the 9ers. What are you going to do with the car?
I don't have a driving license, but even if I had a driving license, I would give that car to my mother, because
Can she drive?
yes, she can drive. She
has a driving license?
She has a driving license. She has
What
her
kind
own
of a car does she have?
Is it Cherry 7? I
Mhm.
guess, a Cherry
7 Pro?
Yes,
Cherry 7 Pro, great.
Yes, really great car. I mean, but it's like a bit too big.
Mm-hmm.
I wanna to my mom to have a car that is not that big. That is like, smaller, neater, maybe.
Great, great. Well, if you don't have a driving license, I don't recommend you to drive the car anytime soon. It's not a cheap car. It's better to start out with a smaller and cheaper car, I guess, because when I started driving, I had so many accidents that my car. I'm happy that my car didn't get into serious traffic accidents. So I think it's much better for you to do it, to give it to your mom, and it would be a great way to express your gratitude
Yes, of course.
towards all she has done, right? Now, you know about the trip to Thailand. Were you aware before you got 9?
Not before, but after. Yes.
This puts you in the list of those who will travel to Thailand automatically. And I know that it's going to be your first trip abroad, right?
Yes, it was.
How does it feel?
Well, it would also be my first trip on a plane. Like
Oh, really?
Yes.
You have never?
Even domestically, yes. This is going to be really fun.
Great.
I also want to take my mother and my younger brother with me. Because I mean, me and my mother have been talking about like as a chance to visit some place abroad to have like a really great time as a family, because we didn't really have a time, neither time nor opportunity. My mother had to work hard, I had to work hard, my younger brother had to study. But now that I got to 9, that my younger brother got into university, I think we can treat ourselves and go there. I know Thailand is a really great place, especially with the climate, of all the wildlife, vegetation. I would like to, to talk to people there, to experience their culture, to see the beauty of their nature. I think I'll be lost in the jungle on the first day because I like the nature so much. Yes.
Great. Now, so what exactly are you going to do in Thailand? There are many things to do, actually. Do you have anything in mind? Like, for example, me, I want to spend the day simply lying around the beach, drinking all the good stuff and simply relaxing. How about you?
Well, I want, I saw that last time when you traveled abroad, I saw that you booked water scooters.
Yes,
I want to do this.
Great. We're going to be doing that.
Yes.
For sure.
Maybe scuba diving or snorkeling. Because lots of good stuff to see.
I think I'm going to be put a ban on scuba diving. I think because there are so many cases with fatalities in Thailand, and that's why I don't think I'm going to be letting you guys do that. To be honest, we'll be doing snorkeling. Anyways, Farrux, congratulations once again. I really wish all the best in your plans, as you have mentioned. And you should congratulate your mom as well. Thank you for your time. It was nice talking to you. Yes, sure.